The real reason why the F-22 Raptor is a beast in aerial combat. Operators' manuals have a boring reputation, but not if they are written for one of the best fighter jets ever developed. Retired Air Force Colonel Terry Stretch Scott found that out during his time flying the F-22 Raptor, the Air Force's fifth-generation fighter designed to kick down the door of enemy air defenses. "The flight controls are phenomenal," Scott said on the Fighter Pilot podcast in 2019. The original operator's manual actually read, "You may fly this aircraft with reckless abandon," he recalled, and while the manual has changed since the aircraft's first flight more than 2 decades ago, the spirit of the Raptor is the same as ever. Thousands of moviegoers will get a chance to see the F-22 shine on the silver screen later this month. The Air Force put together a 60-second recruiting ad to play in movie theaters before the start of Top Gun: Maverick, the sequel to the classic 1986 movie about Navy aviators which inspired a generation of military pilots. The Air Force ad showcases the branch's fighter fleet, but some of the most spectacular stunts in the clip are performed by Major Joshua Cabo Gunderson, the pilot and commander of the F-22 demo team. Staff Sergeant Don Hudson, who handles public affairs for the team, walked task and purpose through those stunts. The first one, at 18 seconds in, is the power loop, where Gunderson uses the Raptor's thrust vectoring capability to quickly loop the aircraft, Hudson said. Thrust vectoring means the F-22 can point its engine nozzles slightly up and down for greater control and maneuverability. Very few aircraft on the planet have that capability, and skilled Raptor pilots like Gunderson can use it to tie adversaries in knots. Most fixed-wing airplanes tend to fly forward, but at about 26 seconds into the recruiting commercial, Gunderson puts on a Raptor slide, where the pilot maintains a controlled backward slide before repositioning to pull out of the maneuver, Hudson explained. Then, at about 47 seconds into the video, Gunderson performs a J-turn, also known as the Herbst maneuver, which highlights the unique maneuvering capabilities of the Raptor to rapidly reverse the change of direction with an incredibly tight turn, Hudson said. The J-turn basically uses the entire airframe as a speed brake, and can reduce the turning time of a fighter aircraft by 30%, according to NASA. Gunderson makes the maneuvering magic look easy, but it takes plenty of training and skill to pull it off, Hudson said. Even Scott, who had an impressive 3,500 hours of flying in the F-15 Eagle before switching to the F-22, said it took a while to master the Raptor. But once you do, it's almost unfair for your opponents. Indeed, the F-22 was always meant to be a beast. It was designed to replace the F-15 as the Air Force's premier air-to-air winning machine. The plane is not just nimble, it's smart and sneaky too. With advanced sensors, the fighter can see threats from far away. With its stealthy shape and materials, it can sneak up on those threats undetected. With its supercruise ability, it can sneak faster than threats can react. And, with its thrust vectoring capability, it can outdance any opponent within visual range. Nowadays, air-to-air combat in contested airspaces are back on the minds of generals and policymakers in Washington as China and Russia make bids to become regional and international superpowers. However, unlike how it was in 2005, the F-22 is now on the backside of the technology curve. In 2021, the service announced it would retire the Raptor sometime around 2030, depending on how soon the Air Force can adopt its next-generation air dominance fighter, a developing project which could cost hundreds of millions of dollars per tail and redefine the concept of fighter aircraft. NGAD will take over the F-22's air superiority role, while the multi-role F-35 Lightning II will serve as the cornerstone of the fighter fleet, according to Air Force leaders. Though the F-22's days are numbered, maneuvers like those Gunderson performed in the Air Force commercial indicate that the sharp-edged bird will always be remembered with admiration, and maybe a bit of fear.